So it looks like we're going with Chinese tonight. I was promised pizza, and he changes it to Chinese. Do you notice how my ears go up every time I blink? Do you think Botox would fix that? Okay.
Yes, hi. Can I, yes. Ma'am? Okay. These are those combo meals, you know what I mean?
Dinner on a budget.
With the pork fried rice and the egg roll, right? Okay?
It's like the worst Chinese food in the world down here.
Sweet and sour chicken.
This is how far I got on the Rhinestone Cottage last night. Sorry about that video, it's kind of a joking mood. But let me turn on the light so you can see. I think the light switch is, see, this is down here. Where is it? There it is. So this, oh, I guess you can't really see it as well there. Let me turn it off. Here, I'll pull the camera down so you can see the sparkles. I'm gonna pause. Okay, so this is how far I got last night. It's very, 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 very sparkly. So I'm gonna probably work on this a little bit more tonight, but I did go shopping. Went to a few stores when I took time off work. Found a new frame for the diamond dots. I got my pool noodles. If you watched the organization video for the cottage, I had 6 more colors than what would fit in the box. So I just stuck them in here in the baggies. And what a royal pain in my ass it is working out of baggies. That sucks. So I needed like 6 more containers. When I was at the dollar store, I just picked up this. This particular method doesn't really appeal to me. I may change my mind after trying it, but I'm gonna put them in there for this particular project. But this system, I'm actually really happy with it. It wasn't too terribly fumbly to do. With my, you know, oncoming dementia, I was having some issues remembering what color I was using. They're kind of difficult to get out of here when they're all laying down. So what I ended up doing was, once I pulled one out, I set them all up on end. You can imagine. So the back row was set up on end and the front row set up on end. And I would grab the color I needed in the little Tic Tac box, open it up, and pour it in my tray. My problem was is if I forgot, like with my big boxes, to leave the cap open. Okay, so honey, dinner's ready. I go eat dinner. I come back and I've got my boat full of, my little tray's full of a dark blue. And there's a few different dark blues in this one, and I, for the life of me, could not remember what it was because I had closed the cap. So I ended up waiting until I was completely done, and then I brought it in underneath a big, you know, bright light with my magnifying glasses on to determine which one it was. So I poured it back in, but so far I'm really happy with this. I can see why it could be a little difficult to pour them back into the containers because, sorry, my stomach is growling like crazy, and I will demonstrate. Okay, so one thing before I demonstrate actually using these, I had mentioned in another video that I had heard magnets will help remove the static charge from them. So I've just been playing around with these. They're just regular magnetic clips. I've just been kind of laying them on, letting them sit, seeing if it has any effect. But that's just one thing I was trying. I'll let you know if it seems to work. But like I said, it's kind of difficult to get them out, you know, when you're trying to change colors fast with them in there like this. So what I'll do is I'll set them all up on end when I'm starting. There we go. Okay, so you kind of get the idea, and from my vantage point, I can see the numbers on them, especially the front row I can see because I put the numbers on the bottom and it's a clear case. So, and then the other ones, you know, there's 12, so I can kind of guess and pick it up if I can't quite see it. I suppose I could label them a second time on the top of the box, but I just really don't feel like doing that right now. So, as far as these little Tic Tac boxes, I wasn't sure how well it was going to work out. I wanted to try it, thinking that this was a good size to keep my, you know, remains, hoping it to eventually hit all colors, meaning I would need almost 900 little boxes, and they're tiny enough that 900 of these wouldn't take up a terribly large amount of room versus the storage containers I had gotten at the Dollar Tree, which let me grab one real quick. Okay, so you can see the size difference between the two. You know, I can fit like 2 of these Tic Tac size for every one of those, plus there's a difference in the width, so a lot less space, and they're perfectly rectangular for stacking, whereas these aren't. So I was just thinking that, you know, you get 10 for $1 of these at Dollar Tree, 10 cents a piece, 900, it would cost $90 to get enough of these. And I'm just thinking space-wise, it's going to take up so much room. This I got on a super good deal at Michael's. It was $2, and there's 24 of them. So, you know, that ends up being a little bit less per item, $1 for 12, so it's a little less than 10 cents each. About the same price, but a lot less space. Big space saver here. It's not going to hold as many quantity-wise, obviously, but I just really kind of like the neatness of this whole thing. So as far as actually using it, I did have a video earlier where I put everything into these containers, and I wanted to let you know kind of how it's going now that I've been actually trying it and using this system. So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate. One of the things that you can see one-handed, you can pop that thing open really easily. I was concerned about the size of the hole, whether the diamonds would pour smoothly or if they'd get clogged up, but they do pour really quite smoothly. Okay, so little shake, working on it. Now it's time to put them back in. And you've got 2 choices with these. Number 1, you can pour them in this way. If you don't have a lot in your tray, that works just fine. But let's say I've got quite the load going. All right, now time to put them back in. You end up with a little bit of a bottleneck there. Okay, so it's a little shaking to get it in. Not a big deal. Not obviously as easy as it would be to just pour right into a container, but you know, it's a little more manual dexterity required for this. And it would be a 2-handed process, whereas the other ones, you know, if you've got a container, you can just do that. These you really kind of want to hold on to it because you're going to end up knocking it over and making a mess. So that's the first way. Second way would be to completely remove the lid off. Now, I found they're not the easiest. You can't just pull on that. Well, I guess you can, but I would be worried that you loosen the tab up so much that you might tear it right off if you did that too many times. But it does work that way, so that's easier. I guess I just discovered that. Or if you actually were trying to stick your fingernails under it. It takes a little longer to get it open. But yeah, I would get concerned with doing it this way, that you're putting constant stress on that it might not stay shut after a while, or you might actually tear the little tab completely off. But doing it that way, now if you were to pull that off, still, I would say 2 hands, and it might even be a little more jerking around to get it in that way. But overall, I'm happy with it, especially, you know, if you're doing a painting that there isn't a huge quantity of diamonds. Smaller paintings, that'd be good. I did have more than what would fit in the little boxes. You know, my back stock, I've got it in a bag just marked with what painting it's for. And as these empty out, I can refill them, top them off. And then, like I said, I bought these to put in here. So I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to keep the white one outside. Might as well just, I need 6, so I might as well just do the colors. And, oh, you have no choice? No, here, okay, there we go. Get rid of that one. Put the cap on here. There, that works. Okay. So, got my... See how much fun those little bags are? They're awesome. Ooh, shit. Again, this is why we don't play with plastic bags. They're dangerous. I think that's all of them. I guess those are okay. Now, see, this is why I don't want these, because the labels are going to be like all over in every direction, and it's going to drive me crazy. But I don't really have a choice right now. So I did do the freezing of the diamonds experiment on this particular kit to see if it reduced the static. Now, while I was initially setting it all up, I did run across some static the further into the process I got. I believe, you know, probably the drills were warming up and the static returned. But in working with them now, I have not noticed much static at all, either through the Tic Tac boxes and pouring them into the trays, or right now, I'm not really seeing static on them. So, yeah, it seemed like it worked pretty well doing that. I never really thought that I'd have this many paintings to choose from to do. I don't know. I guess you see a sale and you freak out because, oh my God, it's going to take a month to get here. And life gets in the way and you don't finish as much as you thought you were going to. So, yeah, it's nice having choices, I guess. Okay, so here we go. Not all gonna fit. So this is what we're gonna do with this. Yeah, I don't like these. I don't know. I suppose the ones from like the Joann's or Michael's are probably a little better quality, because these kind of blow chunks. They don't want to screw together. But that white one I'm going to use for my extras in this color. $28. Yeah, this thing. Dollar Tree. Yeah, this thing sucks. This is way worse dealing with that than the Tic Tac box. And I was trying to keep those all lined up, and yeah, I did. So I've been thinking a lot about doing a custom, but I want to figure out how to do it myself without having to rely on China mail. I have some ideas rolling around in my head, and I don't know if I want to spend the money experimenting to have it fail. But if it was successful, it would be awesome. It would like eliminate all boundaries. I'm sure there's others of you out there who, over the course of your lifetime, you come up with ideas for inventions. And you don't do anything about it. It takes a lot of capital to get something like that going. But then you forget what the heck it was. Until someday, later on in your life, you walk into a store and there's your idea 20 years later. I got so many of those rolling around in my head. It reminds me of that movie, what was that? Night Shift? With Michael Keaton. Is that his name? Talking into the tape recorder. Feed the herring mayonnaise. Yeah. Kind of funny.
So I offer him my body. Now he's trying to order the spiciest dish he can from a Chinese restaurant.
Sure. Sure. Yes.
I thought I didn't make sense.
Right. And then your what are they? Wonton or rangoons that go with their deep fried with cream cheese in them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crab tours.
Yeah.
And do you want egg drop soup?
No, thank you.
Okay. No, yeah, that should be good.
Snot soup.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey, we're gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust.